Hey guys, Stealth here. Welcome back to Transport Fever. I gotta say, this empire is coming along very nicely, and there is a huge amount of people just piling up on these train stations. And it's not just visible, it's also starting to actually really cut into my trains and their capacity. The Santa Clara Little Rock line that I've set up in one of the earliest episodes is doing so well that it is completely overloaded. Now, let's see. The Santa Clara Little Rock line makes me about 10 million a year in a good year. Potentially a little bit more. And you can see that there is still well under, or slightly under 300 people waiting here. I do have very sizable trains running around. 165 people on this one. And I believe that there's quite a few of these trains moving around at this stage. I have 5 trains moving on these tracks and it's still not enough. So we're going to be adding a few more. And these are going to be what I'm going to be calling super trains, because they will have a very high capacity. Potentially somewhere in the ranges of 200. Money should not be a problem, as I have 102 in the bank. Let's see, this is rather expensive. This thing cost me 6 million a year. It's way faster than anything I have at this moment. Metroliners only have a capacity of 81, which of course I can be boosting further, but let's go with the Bombardier bi-levels with 33 people on board. There you go, 231 people can board this train. That's going to require pretty hefty engines to keep that thing rolling. Your speed is 140 max. We have the New Haven EP5. That's the fast one. It's not too expensive at 1.28 million a year. 113 kilometers per hour, that's a weird limit. There's not that many locomotives I can pick from. Alright, we're going to go with the New Haven. And we're going to set you up on the Santa Clara Little Rock line. I hope that this will help out with the transport capability a little, because this line has virtually on every station a very sizable queue. Especially in Santa Clara. Look at that. There's 480 people waiting on this train station. Most of which for the Santa Clara Little Rock line. The counterclockwise line, the central line, is also very heavily demanded. For example, look at this one. 134 people waiting on the counterclockwise line. So once again, it's going to be an episode to just keep that line expanding. Although it's not making me that much money yet. It's really depending on how many passengers want to go where and when the train gets there. Sometimes you got these big paydays, like that, 800,000. And then the people from this town could decide that they don't want to go to Santa Clara, but they want to go to Elgin instead. So what I could do is set up a train route directly from Austin to Elgin. We're going to do a bit of market research. Let's have a chat with some of these people. He's going to the shop. Okay, he's going shopping in Santa Clara. That makes sense. Shopping facilities there are probably quite a bit more sizable than what we have over here. Shop. Santa Clara. Who else we have? Let's get a couple of these people selected, because I want to know if they actually need to go to Elgin before I'm starting to invest in that place. Alright, you're going shopping in Elgin. There's one. You're going shopping in... Wow, over there of all places? In Mobile? Interesting. And how about you? You're going shopping on the other side of the country. Alright. That's an interesting choice there. How about you? You're also going shopping in Mobile. You prefer fast move preferences. Okay. So, if I have potentially an aircraft, then that could work. You're going home. Right. What I'm considering doing is set up an airport to go from either Austin or Norfolk all the way north to Mobile. Because Mobile, for some reason, seems to be a destination some people want to get to. For my sake, it's not too much of an interesting town. I mean, it's under 1,000 population, it's poorly connected, it's not getting any kind of resources whatsoever. Elgin, on the other hand, is doing quite well, but is still smaller than Mobile. Now, it would make sense if I would set up an airport in Santa Clara. The thing is that there's not a lot of room to do that. Maybe on this bit of flat land I could set up the airport. And then hook up another train station here. Oh nice, that's the big train that I just bought. It's almost at capacity, look at that. Anyway, let's see where some of the other people want to go to. I know I still don't have all of the map connected, but that is not a priority at the moment. I want to try and work with aircraft. My experiences with aircraft haven't always been good. In the sense that sometimes you buy an aircraft, you set it up on a line where people claim they want to get to, and then they just take the bus. Alright, so these guys want to go from Norfolk to Santa Clara. That's one. You want to get to work in Austin, makes sense. You want to get to work in Santa Clara. You willing to pay? Yes, he's willing to pay. Move preference, fast, and you're going home in Elgin. What about you? You're going shopping in the next town. Right. See, I want to make aircraft work, I just haven't been able to do it yet. Bloody hell. 245 people. Is this the super train? Yeah. $1.64 million people, or 1.64 million. Now, how about setting up an airport between Tacoma and Santa Clara? How many people would want to get from one place to the next? Let's have an interview. Alright, you want to go home. Home for you is north. You want to go shopping in the north. You want to go home, again north. How about you? You want to go shopping. You want to get to work. Right, so there's not that many people who want to go either to Santa Clara or one of the other towns. At least, maybe I picked the wrong track, but... let's see. I should be looking at the different track. This is the line of people who's waiting. You want to go shopping? In Beaumont. You want to go shopping on the other side of the country. What is it with these people? I mean, why would you go and just cross over 3, 4, 5 towns before you can finally do your shopping? That just does not make any sense. Now I'm finally starting to cut through the queues here. So that should help me with transport capability. There's 40% now. Little Rock. Little Rock is definitely a sizable town. Yep, he's making money. Good. Right, let's pause the game. If I can switch, or if I can pick one place that's going to be a very large commercial area, such as potentially Santa Clara, I can then start to bring in more and more and more people here, because they're all going to want to go shopping in Santa Clara. At least that's my hope. So we're going to need either tools, food, or goods. Now, goods are possible to deliver there, but they're a lot of work to get to one place. Food, usually not that hard. Let's have a look at that. We have a food processing plant there and a farm here. So I could just set up a straight line from there to there, probably with trucks, and then from this side to Santa Clara with a train line. I could even use bits of the train line that are already in place. We'll have to double up on that track, but that's not a problem. Then I can deliver it to this station. Or I could just set up a secondary station on this end, and have them deliver it there. Shouldn't be too expensive, and if I can make it work, it's going to make Santa Clara into one enormous town. And for some reason, the shopping facilities are already more popular than the population. So there is much more of a demand for people to go shopping in Santa Clara by the looks of it. So I could probably work with that. So that is the food department. Tools require steel. I could build it here. So I'm going to need steel to be built, or to be produced. Let's see. This is goods. This is another food processor. Do they have iron ore anywhere? Because that's what I'm looking for at the moment. Right, we have iron ore on this end, on that end. Is there coal anywhere? Yes, there is coal. Right, so I could set up a large train to pick up stuff from there and there. And transport it all the way here. Then from there to there. And then I have my tools, which I can then deliver to, for example, Beaumont and Little Rock. Actually, how about making Beaumont my shopping facility? Would that work? Because I can easily get food from this farm to there, and then drop it off in Beaumont. I can pick this stuff up here, ship it over this way, and then have it offloaded. Actually, I can have it offloaded here, just by ship. Unfortunately, the coal might not be in the catchment area for a ship. And ships, well, I like to use ships, but they tend to take forever to get from one place to the next. Meaning that they're not going to create a steady supply or steady delivery towards the end user. This one. So this one's going to have continuous spikes of production and then sitting on its thumbs just not doing anything because it's not getting any stuff. This would be the easiest route though. So 1, 2, take a ship, drop it off here. Potentially make a bridge. Just a road bridge, drop it off to this place, make my steel, and then steel to this facility, drop it off in Beaumont. Let's see, which has the largest shopping facility at the moment? Yeah, that is Santa Clara by far. 2,384 points of shopping facilities. Rockford is the next one. That's on this end. Then we have Mesquite up in the north. We have Mobile up in the north. Tacoma over there. It's not ideal. Alright, we'll try the shipping solution. Let's hope that every little bit of water that I need is navigatable water. And yep, so far it is. Or is it? Nope, there's a bridge in the way. Wonderful. We'll just have to redo that bridge. First, I want my ships to be in a suitable position here. I'm going to set this thing up to have multiple terminals, if at all possible. Oh, damn. Yeah, this is not viable. The problem here is I need to put it like that. This means that the ships have a very, very small angle to actually get to the dock where they start loading up. This is slightly better. I think at 2 it starts to get... yeah, at 2 it starts to go bad. Right, so that's not an option. It means I deleted that bridge a little bit too soon. Okay, so we're back to building trains. How about setting up one enormous central food hub and then transporting it towards several different towns from there? So, taking these 2 farms, potentially feeding this one from this farm as well, then shipping it to, say just Santa Clara, and then from Santa Clara deliver it to their neighboring towns. I mean, I have railroads running towards those places already, I just need to create a small split off for a freight station. Yeah, let's go with that. It's going to take quite a few episodes to do this, probably, so here we go. First up, 2 different train stations going towards this place. So this one I'm going to set up as a sizable train station. This is going to be the central nerve of this cargo line. Alright, we're going to have one high-speed track running this way. And potentially in such a manner that I don't need to delete too many fields. For some reason though, deleting fields just does not do anything for the productivity of a farm. It's a bit unusual, but the farm does not seem to mind. Which is fine. I mean, I really don't mind that. Makes my life a lot easier. Right, let's connect that. Yeah, I can make that work. Please tell me you're unable to align terrain. Really? This again? Fine, we'll do it like that. We'll have to relay some bits here, but that should not be a problem. There. Alright, so that's one. Then I also want it to be fed from this side. Spin it around. I hope that road isn't going to cause me too many issues. No, it's fine. The train can even depart at pretty good speeds. There, that's number 2. Then we're going to need a depot to be set up. Let's see if I can align both of these to one depot. That would make it, well, that would probably cost me too much in train tracks. I'll create a split here so I can have 2 trains running on this line. That food processing plant is going to get busy, I can guarantee you that much. There's going to be a lot of traffic on that station. Alright, that's one setup. I'm going to have one crossover here, and then I'm going to have my depot on this end. And we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to create a split, so we can have multiple trains running on this track. And oh, the road isn't going to fight me. That's nice. Normally you get all of these issues where the roads just do not like to be aligned, but that seems to have not been an issue for this track. Alright, create a crossover like that. And then we're going to create a depot. Now this was the cheap end of the operations, because now it's going to get expensive. So we're going to call this... what do they deliver? They deliver grain and livestock. This is 1. And this is 2. So that is grain, livestock 2. Very original. Now, these things need 2 different cars, unfortunately. So we're going to have one boxcar for the livestock. Let's say 2 of these initially. A couple of stake cars, or no, gondolas is what we need for grain. And then we need to assign a vehicle to pull that thing around. These things are getting pretty expensive. 105. We're going to go with this one. Initially it's not going to make a profit. That's okay. Once this thing starts to ramp up production, it's going to probably bring in quite a decent amount of cash. 2 boxcars, 2 gondolas, and this is livestock 2. Now, in case you're wondering why I'm immediately going with this double and a split here, so that eventually I can run multiple trains, but right now these trains are all moving on one track. If I tell this thing to have several different sections, because that's what I'm doing with this with these signals, I'm creating sections. So, for example, from this one to this one is a block. If there is a train on that section, no other train is allowed to move past the initial signals. So I'm thinking well ahead here. in the sense that I expect there to be multiple trains which are going to be operating here, and they will need separate sections. If they don't have those, then they're going to be sitting still, waiting for the next section to clear. So that's why I'm creating quite a few sections. Now, this last one is important. It goes here to make sure that the train that is sitting here, that's coming into the station, is going to give way to the train that's coming out of the station. If you don't have this signal, then you have two trains sitting nose to nose, looking at each other and asking each other which one's going to move first. So that's not very useful. In this capacity, that's not going to be a problem. Similarly, on this end, we're going to do the same thing. Trains will always try to move on the right side of the tracks. So I'm going to set a priority or a wait signal there. Then we're going to create another couple of sections here. This is a pretty short traverse section. There you go. Now the game understands that I want to have two different connections and one finally here to give priority. Done. So that was the cheap end of the operations. Now it's going to get expensive. To some extent, because now I need to get that delivery or that product delivered towards Santa Clara. By the way, look at the sheer amount of stuff we have waiting here. Jesus. Yeah, I can add a few more vehicles. Come to think of it. Santa Clara construction. Have a good one. Right. So if I want to deliver to Santa Clara, I may have to just drop it off here, because the rest of it is a bit unhandy. Otherwise I might have to go through this mountainside, which is going to cause tunnels, and tunnels are expensive. So I'm thinking of just shipping it towards Little Rock and then using the other train tracks that are already in position to tie in the rest of the transport network. So we're going to have a pretty sizable train station here, in the sense it's going to be 8 tracks, 240 meters, high speed. And this is pretty much going to be the main hub, potentially also for goods later on. Let's see. I want this to be able to go both ways. This should do it. Alright, so a train is moving on the right side of the tracks. If I wanted to come in from over there and start delivering towards this end, I'm going to need a track that allows this train to get there. So we're going to have a crossover like that. This is not the best track laying I've done, but so long as it's tied up there, it's working alright. Immediately I'm going to create a split here, because this is going to be one busy area. And getting these things tied into each other is going to cause a bit of a traffic knot here. There. Alright, again, set up signals. If a train is coming out of this loop, it's going to have priority. In its current state, I'm not sure a train can... I don't think it can. It cannot exit from here and get onto these tracks. So we're going to have an exit track. I'm going to tie that one like that. That should do. So if it's coming in, it's going to wait here. And... yeah, that should do. Create sections. There you go. Okay, so that's immediately tied into the rest of the rail network. That right now doesn't do that much yet, but I can now easily add another freight station on pretty much any location that I like. And that's going to make it a bit easier. I'm going to do the same thing here. So we're going to have one section splitting off. It's not going to be easy tying it in here. This one is supposed to be driving on the right side. There you go. And if it is coming back, I need it to be able to cross over, like that, and then it can go home. Easy. Then split. And we're going to tie it back into the freight station here, or the freight hub. Hopefully that's giving me enough space. Yes, there we go. Right, so you're coming back from this route. This is going to be a very important positioning for signals. If a train is going towards the freight track, I want it to have priority. So anything that could get in the way is going to have to wait. Therefore, I'm going to set up one signal here, so that if a train is coming from this section to there, it's going to wait until the others have entered the track, and then be done. I'm also going to set it up here, so that if there's a pretty slow moving freight train coming in, and there's a fast moving train on this end, then it's going to give priority. As for this section, I don't need too much more. I already have quite a few signals set up there. Right, so then we now need to tie this thing into that station. Correction, this station. And I should do so without interfering with anything else. Ooh, that's gonna get expensive. Is that really gonna get that expensive? Yes, it will. Okay. Well, I have cash to burn, so I might as well do it. Because this is going to be one important track. It has to work at speed. I'm immediately going to double up here as well, because I have the money. And we're going to back on the bridge. Again, expensive, but worth it. Connect it up. Tie it in. Done. Alright, you're coming in. You're going to wait for the train to exit. Creating several sections so they don't have to keep waiting on each other. You can set up sections on the bridge, but it's usually a lot of zooming in and out trying to get to the right position. Right in here, you're going to wait. Okay. So that is going to be the main food delivery. So this is going to be... Little Rock North is not really the right term for it, or Little Rock North food. So we're going to say Little Rock Hub food, because that's what this thing is. This is the LR hub. Of course, I need to tie in a depot here. I know that I'm probably using way too many depots, but this just makes it so much easier trying to get everything connected. There, set up a side route. Okay, so we don't need anything that's going to be capable of transporting raw stuff. It's going to be the boxcar. This thing can transport food. I'm immediately going to go with 6. And we're going to set that up to LR Food. Now, LR Food currently does not demand anything. It's not a consumer. It's just a go-between. So we're going to need to set up a road connection, making sure that these roads also get upgraded, because they're going to get used quite a lot. Then I need to find out where in Little Rock they want to get their food. This is the commercial buildings, of course. We're going to set up a couple of truck stops to cover those. Unfortunately, they are not very well placed at the moment. Oh, please don't make me delete a building. That was close. Except the place in the middle. This is where it's going to get really tough. This one covers most of it. This one covers the other section. And this last truck stop is going to get expensive. Because I want to cover as many commercial buildings as possible. 2.49 million. 277. Oh, that was too far. 372. Come on, 318. 238. There. It was expensive, but it's going to pay itself off pretty quickly. Then a large truck stop. Set up a new line. I think I just blew about 60 million on the constructions that I've done so far. Alright, so this is LR Food. Set up a... No, actually it's supposed to have a depot here somewhere. Yep, there we go. I'm going to set up 3 of these. And all of you gents are going to go on the LR Food line. Alright, let's run it. Because while this thing is ramping up production, I can start to develop further road connections to, for example, Beaumont and Santa Clara. Santa Clara is easy. All I need to do is set up one freight station, which I can easily hijack off of the side of this section here. And it doesn't even need to be a immensely large station. There's even a small catchment area there. I could set this thing up as a terminal station. If it's able to align, which of course it isn't. Fine, we'll go with this. Alright. Gotta make sure he can also get towards the other end. Otherwise, he's gonna cram up that single track, which he's not allowed to do. Need you to give way. And I need you to give way. Gonna add another depot here, or truck stop. Let's make it a large one. I already have a few truck stops covering some parts of Santa Clara. I'm just not sure if they're all the right ones. Oh, look at this beauty. For some reason they started building a lot of commercial area around the main freight station here. It's just that getting here is not easy. No, we're gonna do it by vehicle, by road vehicle. So if I can just deliver it here, then that covers a good portion of the commercial buildings. We're also gonna set up a few smaller ones, if that fits, that is. And does it? One building will be deleted. So be it. And on this end, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Ah, shit. Misclick. Okay, so we have the north bit of the commercial area covered, the middle bit, the southern bit, and there are still some commercial buildings spread out towards the middle of town. Now I know that I can deliver... Oh, there we go. There's another truck stop here. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, set up a new line here. Because Santa Clara wasn't busy enough as is. So this is going to be another abbreviation, SC Food. Santa Clara's Food. Wow, the game suddenly starts to stutter like hell. Well, I suppose that will signal the end of the episode. Next time around we're going to do a further expansion of the food line. For now, this is the episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon for future episodes of Transport Fever.